Well, welcome back all my crafty friends to Llamas Creations DIY. If we haven't met, my name is Tammy. On this channel, I do all sorts of crafts, whether it be thrift flips, creating things from scratch, or just having fun trying to create anything I like. I hope you enjoy. Let's start crafting. So I'm taking this sign. I can't remember where I got it. It was probably a garage sale or something. So first what I'm going to do is take off the little hanger there with the little poor looking sad ribbon on it. But we're going to put it aside because we'll use that next. Or we will use it again. Then I'm going to, with my little scraper tool, I'm going to try and get off all those fabric hearts and then give it a nice sanding. I also take the stickers off at the back as well. The glue for those hearts wasn't coming off all that great, but I did the best I could. Taking some painter's tape, I'm going to tape around the edge because I kind of liked the edge that it was. I wanted to keep it black and kind of rustic like that, so I taped around it so I wouldn't get any paint on it. Now I'm going to paint the front of it with my sheepskin chalk paint made by Home Decor. Taking off the tape, hoping that it didn't all seep through. And I did get some in between the cracks there, so all I did was take a little piece of sandpaper, squish it into that little hole because there's a groove there, and I just back and forth with the sandpaper until I got it all nice and clean. Now using my ruler, I'm going to measure out, I think I went down about 1.5 inches, and I do that down 3 times. Draw a line across, and then with my finger I smudge it over just to give that shiplap look sign. Sign? No, shiplap look, like, yeah, whatever. That stuff. Using my pencil, I'm going to freehand in my words. You can use a Cricut. You can print it off on your computer and transfer it with carbon paper. You can do it any way you like. You do you. Next, taking a paint marker, I'm going to go over my words. But as you could see, I don't know why I do it first in pencil because I don't ever follow it. But I guess it gives me kind of a good idea of how farther over I have to go and whatnot. Then, because the edges around were this bare wood color, I took my black Home Decor chalk paint and painted around the edge, but I didn't give it like a full coverage. If there was still some wood shining through, wow, if there was still some wood coming through, I was okay with that because the front kind of looked the same way. Now we're going to take that little wire, get rid of the ribbon, that poor ribbon. Going to stretch it out, feed it through the back, and then I use my pliers just to kind of wind it into a circle so that it doesn't come through. And then using a end of a paintbrush, I'm going to wind it around to give it like a little curly Q at the top. Do the same to the other side. And we're done. Text me if you need more toilet paper. I know you're on the phone. This is for my bathroom. Next project. Taking another thrifted sign. I believe I got this one free from my mom. Got a bunch of them free from my mom. We're going to take off the hanger, lift up those little screwy thingies, and then I take them out and take the whole thing apart. Take the back out. What am I doing? Take the picture out and take the glass out. I fiddle fart a lot, don't I? And then, of course, take any extra paper off. Using my sandpaper, I'm going to sand around the edges because some of the paper on the back was stuck. I guess they had some pretty good glue back then. And then I also sand the front of it and give it a nice good cleaning. This one was a little coming apart, so I just used some hot glue, stuck it into the corners, and then I would squish it together really hard. And then with the staple gun, staple the corners together. And I did that to all of them. Using my Java Home Decor chalk paint, we're going to paint the entire frame, front and back. With my ruler, I'm just measuring out the inside to see how big of a piece I need. I don't know why I didn't use the backing to it. And then on a piece of foam board, we're going to put that measurement onto there and cut it out with a craft knife. If you don't have foam board, you can use a piece of cardboard. These here are garden stakes. You can, when you're planting your vegetables, you can write your vegetable names on it so you know where things are. Because in the beginning, you always know they're only little tiny green things. Anyways, they're made out of wood. So what I'm doing is using some tacky glue and some hot glue. And I'm going to glue them all the way up the foam board. Yes, I could speak. It's been a while since I've done a voiceover. Maybe that's the problem. After that's all done, we're going to flip it over. And with a utility knife, I'm going to score it. I do it, I think, 3 or 4 times until those little points snap off. And then I sand it down with my sander. We're going to paint this with sheepskin home decor chalk paint. And I mixed it with a little bit of water so it wasn't so thick. And then I take the walnut tint stain that home decor has, and I go in the lines of where the wood pieces meet, and then I smudge over top of it with my paintbrush that was wet with the sheepskin, just to smudge it all in a bit. Now, using some painter's tape, I'm going to do it with the sticky side up. I think I do 3. Am I going to show you all 3? I am. I'm sorry. Oh, I showed you 2. And then I have these little wood letters that I picked up at Dollarama. And I'm just going to lay them all across the painter's tape so that I can stain them. And I stain them with the same walnut home decor stain that I was using on the back piece. Again, just with a paintbrush. And then I go over with a cloth and just kind of wipe all the excess off. Super easy. And I guess I'm showing you how to paint with stain. Because, just in case you don't know how to. There we are. I then put the frame in, or the backing into the frame, which I forgot to show you, and I glued it down. And then taking my letters that I stained, we're going to take them all off and do our saying. A perfect marriage is just 2 imperfect people who refuse to give up on each other. You'll notice some of the letters don't look like down on the bottom. It's supposed to say each. It says B upside down VCH. I didn't have enough letters, so I'm using the B, and I'm going to cut it down to make it E, and then use a piece of that to stick in the middle for an A. That kind of thing. Just using some hot glue, I'm going to glue it all down. And you see this is a Z that I had stained. I'm just going to cut a piece off. I'm surprised I'm using my scissors. Why am I using my scissors? I should be using little snips. Anyways, and then I just glue it there to make my E. Just right into place, just like that. If you don't have it, you make it. And then I hand wrote in imperfect people and other. And traced over it with my black paint marker. Sorry. I thought the frame looked a little plain, so taking some jute wire, I'm going to staple and glue it onto the back. And then I wrap each corner, I think I do it 3 times, 2 or 3 times, using a little glue, hot glue, to hold it into place. I do that to all 4 corners. Twice. I go around twice. And then I hot glue and staple it down. Then, when I hammer it, I don't know what I'm doing. What am I doing? Oh, I'm clipping off the little ends. Jeez Louise. And I put a hanger on the back apparently, and I didn't show you. And this is done. I love it. It's actually hanging in my kitchen. It's pretty. I like it. Hope you like it too. Next one. Again, I took another frame and I'm taking the backing and I'm tracing it onto foam core board. And again, I'm going to cut it out. Easy peasy. Next, I'm going to take that and we're going to overtop with some corkboard. We're going to trace that out and then we're going to glue it onto the corkboard. And if I remember what I'm making 2 of these, but I'm only going to show you how to make one, but I'll show you both at the end. Then I take some fabric that I had laying around. I think this is from a pillowcase, to be honest. I'm going to straighten it out on top. I cut out a piece just big enough so you can wrap it around. I'm going to lift one side, lay down some Mod Podge, a thin layer, a thinnish layer, and then I'm going to bring the piece over. Oh, I'm using some hot glue too. I did this such a while ago, I can't remember how I did it. And we're going to smooth it out with our hands. And then we do the other side the same way. I learnt off of, I think it was the Crafting Cousins. Might not have been. I can't remember. I'm sorry. Can't remember who. But they use spray glue. Can glue in a spray. Yeah. They use that for the fabric. And I thought, yeah, that would have been a lot easier. And then on the back, I flip it over with some hot glue. And I just fold over the edges. Kind of like wrapping a gift. Oh, I think it was Leonette from DIY Beauty on Purpose. I think it was her. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was her. Anyways, I do the 2 sides and using a spatula just to kind of like smooth out the glue. And then I cut the sides down because there was still a lot on there. I'm just trimming it off. And then you do the ends. Kind of like just wrapping a gift. Messy wrap. Something tells me I think I forgot to show you what color I painted. Yeah, that frame I painted gray. And then we're going to take the backing, stick it in, and she was tight, but, you know, it still fit. Using some tacky glue, and I'm also going to use some hot glue in spots to make sure this little backing stays in there. We're going to squish it into place. And then using some paper, craft paper, I'm going to glue it onto the back so it cleans all that up nicely. Doesn't look so messy. Bunch of hot glue, flip it over, and then trim the rest off with a knife or scissors, whatever you have. Just as long as it's sharp, because if it's not, it's a pain. Using some jute rope, not wire, I'm going to tie a knot, staple it down into place, just on the other side of the knot so it doesn't slip through. You got yourself a hanger. Might as well do it while you're back there, putting on the backing. I'm going to take this pink acrylic paint and I'm just going to dust around the edge because it had this really neat design. And I kind of like the color pink and gray together. Or at least I just wanted some pink in my life. Maybe that was it. Pink is happy. With all this snow, you need some pink. I made a bow out of some pink and gray lace ribbon. We're going to hot glue it into the middle. Fiddle fart with the bow because, you know, it's always flopping all over the place. And then I added a little glue to the frame, tacked it down a bit so it would stay in place. And there's this one. And what it's for, it's in my craft area. So when I have an idea for a project, I can hang it up instead of having it on its side. And then I'm going to show you the other one I made. This one here I made, it's at my work. I have it on my wall at work and I pin little things on it that I like or that I need. Hello, all my wonderful friends. It's been a while since I've seen everyone. I do apologize for not posting a lot of videos out. I've been quite busy. Working has taken most of all of my time. I have done a few of these projects here. They've actually been done for a little while. I'm just finally getting the voiceover done and hopefully getting it out sooner or later. Well, obviously I've gotten it out because you're watching it, right? Right. Silly girl. I hope everyone is still having a wonderful time in their lives, and I really am happy that you've stayed to the end to watch the entire video. It surely does make me happy. Hopefully I'll get some more videos out. I am working on some Easter things. Hopefully I can get them done and out before Easter. So wish me luck on that. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. We'll see you again next time. Bye, everyone.